A man looks at his wife of 30 years. He recognizes every feature of her face. He can describe her perfectly. And he is absolutely certain she is not his wife, that she is an identical imposter who has replaced her. This is not psychosis in the usual sense. He is not hallucinating. He is not confused about anything else in his life. He has a precise, specific, and false belief about one single thing, the identity of someone he loves. This is Capgras delusion, and the neuroscience behind it reveals something the rest of us never notice, that recognizing a face and feeling that it belongs to someone you love are two entirely separate brain processes, and they can be surgically disconnected from one another. The condition is named for Joseph Capgras, the French psychiatrist who first documented it in 1923, describing a patient who believed her husband and other family members had been replaced by exact doubles. For decades the condition was treated as a purely psychiatric curiosity, filed alongside other rare delusions and largely unexplained at the mechanistic level. It was not until the 1990s, when neuroscientists began studying Capgras patients who had developed the delusion following brain injury rather than as part of broader psychiatric illness, that a genuinely compelling neural explanation emerged. The explanation begins with understanding how face recognition normally works. The brain processes faces through two largely separate pathways. The first is the ventral pathway, running through the fusiform gyrus in the temporal lobe. This pathway performs the cognitive work of facial recognition, identifying the specific configuration of features that makes a face belong to a specific known individual. This pathway can operate with extraordinary precision, identifying a familiar face in a crowd of thousands. The second is a more direct pathway connecting visual processing regions to the amygdala and related limbic structures. This pathway generates the automatic emotional response to a familiar face, the warmth, the sense of recognition as feeling, the visceral knowing that goes beyond cognitive identification. Under normal conditions, these two pathways operate in concert. You see your mother's face, the ventral pathway identifies the features as belonging to your mother, and the limbic pathway simultaneously generates the emotional glow of familiarity and attachment. The two signals arrive together and are integrated into a single, coherent experience. That is my mother, and I feel the way I am supposed to feel about her. In Capgras delusion, researchers including Hayden Ellis and Andy Young proposed in the 1990s that this integration breaks down, specifically, that the limbic pathway is disconnected from the facial recognition pathway, typically due to damage in the connections between the temporal lobe and limbic structures, often following traumatic brain injury, stroke, or as part of certain dementias. The patient's cognitive facial recognition system continues to function normally. They correctly identify the visual features as matching their wife's face. But the emotional resonance that should accompany this recognition is absent. They see a face that looks exactly like their wife's, but it produces none of the feeling that seeing their wife should produce. The brain, faced with this contradiction, a face that matches perfectly but feels emotionally wrong, does not conclude that something is wrong with its own processing. It constructs an explanation that resolves the contradiction in a different way. This must be an imposter, someone who looks identical but is not actually her. The evidence supporting this model comes from skin conductance studies, measurement of the subtle changes in skin electrical conductivity that occur with emotional arousal, the same physiological response measured by polygraph tests. When healthy individuals look at photographs of familiar faces, their skin conductance shows a measurable response, an unconscious physiological mark of recognition that occurs even when the person is not consciously aware of any emotional reaction. Hayden Ellis and colleagues found that Capgras patients show no such skin conductance response when viewing photographs of their misidentified loved ones, even though they correctly and consciously identify the visual features of the face. The unconscious emotional recognition system that operates in all of us is, in these patients, simply not firing. This two-factor model, a specific neurological deficit, the disconnected limbic recognition pathway, combined with a more general impairment in belief evaluation that prevents the patient from rejecting the implausible imposter explanation, has become the dominant framework for understanding not just Capgras but a family of related delusional misidentification syndromes. Fregoli delusion is the inverse. Patients believe strangers are actually familiar people in disguise. The recognition systems may be hyperactive or miscalibrated in different ways, producing false positive familiarity rather than false negative. Coated delusion. in which patients believe they themselves are dead or do not exist, has been theorized to involve an even more extreme disconnection, the loss of all emotional resonance toward the self, leading to the conclusion that one cannot truly be alive. The second factor, the belief evaluation impairment, is critical to explaining why Capgras patients do not simply notice that their explanation is absurd. Most patients with the underlying recognition-emotion disconnection are found to have additional damage to frontal lobe regions involved in reality testing and belief revision, the cognitive machinery that, in healthy individuals, would flag an imposter theory as wildly improbable and search for more parsimonious explanations. Without this evaluative check, the brain accepts its most immediately available explanation for the contradictory signal, however implausible, and the patient becomes unshakably convinced. What Capgras delusion reveals, stripped of its disturbing surface, is that the felt sense of knowing someone, the warm certainty that this is my mother, my husband, my child, is not a single unified experience but the integrated output of at least two separable brain systems. Identity, as the brain constructs it, is not simply a matter of recognizing a face. It is recognition plus feeling, computed in parallel and bound together so seamlessly that the binding itself is invisible, until disease severs it, and shows us, in the starkest possible terms, what each piece was doing all along.